neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime, whereof the parties shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. Hello everyone, welcome to Women Empowering Women, Diamonds in the Rough. My name is Galanda Shaw. It is my pleasure to introduce our guest today, Larry Johnson, also known as the Ghost. Ghost is the author of 8 published books. He is the founder of Drop the Guns, Pick Up a Book, and Against All Odds Production. Today we will be discussing one of Ghost's books, Tribulation of a Ghetto Kid. But before I let you do an introduction of yourself, Ghost, I noticed when I read this book, the opening of this book is the 13th Amendment of the Constitution. Why is that, and what does that mean to you?
We are not as free as we thought we were.
It's so important that I put this in the front of my book because it's a crime that so many people are not aware of this 13th Amendment. I put that in each one of my books so that my readers will be informed.
Thank you. That's very powerful. Who is the Ghost?
Well, a regular kid that grew up right here in Richmond, Virginia. I lived in just about every hood that you can live in the city. And I think the Ghost as a writer originated from just growing up in a war zone. That's where this book comes from.
And that's my next question to you. What inspired you to write this book?
Pain. At the time I was writing that book, Tribulations, I was very, very angry. I was so angry at the world. I was angry at everyone. And so the pen was all I had. The pen and the pad. That was all I had. I had been put in a situation where I was away from everything that I knew and loved. Looking back over it now, I know that I was just tucked away for a greater purpose. Because I know for a fact where I would be had I not went to prison. We would not be having this interview. Yeah, definitely.
With that being said, you remind me of Jeffrey Owens.
Wow.
The character in this book.
Really?
Owens' mother, Joanne, kept him on the right track. And without giving our viewers too much, because we want them to go out and buy this book.
Definitely.
But you remind me of Jeffrey Owens and how he made that transition after something happened to his mom. And he had to go on his own and do some things and make the right decisions without that support. You remind me so much of that character when you just stated all of that. How did you come up with this title?
Well, I am a diehard Tupac Shakur fan. And years ago, maybe 20 years ago, I was listening to one of his songs. And one of his songs, he said, I was born not to make it, but I did. Tribulations of a Ghetto Kid. Maybe 20 years later, they end up being the title.
Wow. Will this be a continuation? If so, which characters will you continue?
Yes, this book is a trilogy right now, but it could end up being, I could write a part 4. I can go on and on with this book because the characters are so engaging. The characters are so realistic. They're so likable. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a real story. I write, it's a real solid story, and it has just about everything that you could possibly want in a story. You can read it in Tribulations, whether it's love, romance, action, you know what I'm saying, drama. I mean, real life story. And it's just not a story without substance. You feel what I'm saying? This is a story that is really saying something.
Yes, that's what I got out of it when I read it. Very interesting book. Ghost, after reading this book, I was able to relate to so many characters in this book, Tribulation of a Ghetto Kid. And one character in particular is a character by the name of Joanne. Joanne, the mother of 3 kids. And I was able to relate to her in so many ways as being a single mom myself. And how even though her circumstances and the environment in which she was raising her kids, the message and the focus was to make sure that her kids understood the importance of getting an education.
Yes.
And not getting involved with the wrong activities, negative activities. Tell me about that. How does this story relate to your own personal life?
I would say that I've been just about every character in the book at one point in my life. This story for me, Tribulations, I had to write this book. I had so many demons. You feel what I'm saying? When you're living with so much.
Do you recall how your interest in writing originated?
Let me just say this. Writing was never in my plan. I was in prison at the time, with a lot of time on my hands. I was angry, very angry when I first started writing my first book. And, Tribulations of a Ghetto Kid, it was just like a release for me. Like I said before, had I not wrote that book, I wouldn't have been able to write none of the books I've written, over the years. So it was just like my freedom, basically. I had to get that out first.
So is there a message in this particular novel that you want the readers to grasp?
Absolutely. It is my goal. I don't want to be another writer to become successful and leave their community. I want to make an impact.